Hello, all Israel News viewers. I'm Oriane Moran, and I'm here with my new friends that are going to introduce themselves in 1 second. The way that I actually know you guys is through the world of the internet, which is a great tool. And today we're talking about reservists and about soldiers and about everything that they've given for this country and what they experience after they come out of the army. So please, my new friends, introduce yourself to the audience.
So I'm Shlomo Isaacs. I was in the paratroopers and did about 300 days of Miluim, and recently started this organization with my brother.
Hi, I'm Avi Isaacs. I'm 26 in the Chad Brigade. I'm also a reservist and started this organization beneath the uniform to share the voices of reservists out there, let the world know a little bit of the truth.
Right. So tell us just a little bit about this organization. It's basically an Instagram page as of now, as of the day of filming this. And the moment that I saw this through a mutual friend, I thought, wow, this is so important. You guys at All Israel News know how much we care and we support our soldiers that give everything for this country. So tell us how this developed and where you got the idea from.
So it's actually interesting. Originally, I was very against, or not against, but I found it very difficult to go to therapy and face my trauma directly. And for a long time, I was in denial that I didn't have trauma. And I struggled with it a lot, but I would see, you could say you could see the results of it where I would get angry faster or certain things. But yeah, I was talking to my brother and he is telling me he's very pro therapy. So he was telling me, you have to go to therapy. You know, this is it really helps and everyone's traumatized and stuff like that. And after a lot of arguments, he finally convinced me to just start writing. So I started writing a little bit about myself, about what I was feeling inside, about different feelings I had. And then I showed him it. And he was like, wow, this is super powerful. And aside from just showing your emotions, I think this has a lot of value. And the more people I showed it to, the more reactions I would get like that. So the first 2 posts got 20,000 views and 500 likes. And and people were messaging me, from all over the world, Jews, non-Jews. One of our main goals, and one of the things that I really wanted to push that I realized was effective, is showing that first off, the IDF is actually human beings, and not just like any human beings. Human beings with real morals, that they care about right and wrong, they care about good and evil, and they're here, they're fighting for that.
So tell me about your experience in the army and how you carry your experiences in civilian life and how it affects you.
Sure. So October 7th found me, working as an office manager. And of course, we go to do our duty to protect our people. However, people want to portray it. That's what happened, is we came to protect. And over the war, I got engaged. I got married. I have a daughter. And each time, 2 months after marriage, I was back on base. And 2 weeks after my baby was born, I was back on base. You can't understand the worth of something until you understand the cost of it. When you understand that I'm paying the first 3 months of my daughter's life, after I went back, I missed. And that hurts. But it's worth it. That pain is worth it because of what I've gained from it. The amount of people I protected and the lives I saved.
So you've missed a lot of moments that are very precious. How did that actually affect your wife?
My wife is honestly one of the strongest women I ever met. She took on herself to raise our child for the first 3 months. And sleepless nights, and just you speak on the phone, and she's not, just as easy as it would be to cry on the phone for 2 hours to me every night. She understood that it would make it harder for me to do what needed to be done. So she kept a really strong face up, and honestly, the hero of my story.
I had a kid 3 months before October 7th, and I have an older daughter, who she was about 2 when October 7th happened. And the difference in my relationship between her and him is it's like heaven and earth, just so different. And it took me so long to even now, it's so long to just rebuild it and show him that I'm your father. I missed 300 days out of 2 years of his life, the first 2 years of his life. And he would look at me like I'm an uncle, who are you? Because Hamas, they're these people that this is their job. They want to go to war and they're waiting for it. And if you listen to how they talk, they talk about the looking forward to going to war and to taking over Jerusalem and all these things. And when you speak to Israelis, they don't want to do this. So nobody wants to go back to Miluim. It's time after time again, we're just forced into situations. And I mean, now I have another military, and it's like I'm torn because I just started rebuilding my business, and I just built momentum. I'm starting to get leads, and now it's like, but my country needs me. So I feel like we're in this, like it's a consistent thing that every 4 months it's who you got to go back, and then another time.
Let's talk a little bit about soldiers that are not you guys. You obviously saw a need that was very, very important to sort of bring together the community of soldiers that might feel like you but don't have a place to sort of voice that out. Tell me a little bit about the stories, the type of stories that we can see that you guys portray.
Well, one of my friends, Joshua Boone, he just passed away, and I was just recently with him in Gaza. It was kind of surprising to see him there, because he wasn't part of my unit, and he just joined in. He just wouldn't stop. He keeps going back every time. He told me, like, I don't, even when I have the chances to take vacation from the army, I don't want to. Like, I want to keep coming back because I need to protect my people. Right now, they're having like a whole situation where they're trying to make some noise, and they are making some noise, rightfully so, that he wants a proper burial. And it's like, it's like a whole process to get through. And I think it's just missing the point. The man dedicated his life to protecting the country. There should be no questions. It's not like something that needs to go through a process or...
Right. And just for clarity's sake, for soldiers like Joshua Boone and other soldiers that the manner of their passing wasn't necessarily in active duty. There are sort of bureaucracies and policies in place that don't allow them to be buried, let's just say at Mount Herzl, which is where soldiers are buried. And so the families feel very offended by that. And that's one of the struggles that reservists or soldiers that pass, their families have to deal with.
Like another thing that a couple soldiers now told me about, the therapy, like the post-trauma, they're not dealing with it. They're dealing with all these like you see the people making the decisions are not actually going through it. There's someone sitting at a desk. One of the things, you give an example, they give 1,500 shekel for therapy sessions for soldiers. Well, the thing is, if you think about like who thought that up, like who thought that after like a soldier who went to war for a year, like he's obviously, everyone knows that there's post-trauma. So how are we going to deal with it? We're going to give him 1,500 checks, like 2 sessions. I don't know. In my opinion, they have to do 10 years. For the next 10 years, if I want therapy, I should be able to get it for free on the government, not through some, third-party good organization of people who wanted to be, good Samaritans and donate. Like, I shouldn't have to go that way.
But just to add in one other point, which is that when you go for 3 months to war and then you come back, the army gives you about a week before you're back to work, meaning a week of paid time off. And that's just the amount of, I think, pressure that causes on soldiers, even before you finish. I start thinking about it a month before I finish my duty and come back home. How am I going to go back to work a week after getting home? You've been fighting and your friends have been injured or, Khalila killed, and you've done things and, you're out there and, you haven't seen your family in time, and you come home 1 week, back to work is and a lot of internal pressure on the soldier and all.
So a question that a lot of people would ask is, why go back? Why do you go back?
And honestly, exactly, this is why I said before that you can't understand the worth till you understand the cost. And all of that is just worth it. Meaning, at the end of the day, we are the last line. When October 7th happened, if Hezbollah came from the north, when Hamas came from the south and just steamrolled through the country, who's going to be there without the Miluniks, the reservists,
I was reading yesterday about King David and about that at some point he decided not to go to war, right? It's in Samuel. And a lot of times I think like King David is judged in the scriptures because he decided to not go to war when it was the time where kings should have gone to war. But I think people don't understand the fatigue that he went through after decades and decades of fighting. What's the way in which you guys feel the most misunderstood, going back to reserves every time?
I don't think we really have a choice. It's like either go back or die. It's such a hard situation to explain because I think the emotional and physical difference between how you're fighting, and there really is a massive war going on also at home, also when you get back home in emotional war where it's like trying to deal with yourself, trying to deal with the other people around you. Like, how do you keep coming back and keep saying bye and keep coming back and keep saying bye? And I think I'm kind of moving into now what I think the difference is from the government, how they see us, and how is that they try to be nice, try to like work things out. So take a day off here. And it's like the day off would even hurt me more. I'd have to come back, rebuild my relationship, and then, say goodbye to my kids again, say goodbye to the wife. And it was really like, honestly, heartbreaking. And, soldiers do cry. And I've shed tears on it. And lastly, I think the outside world and even Israelis sometimes, the idea of, modern society of war and how, action filled and exciting. And, I don't know, it feels a little bit exaggerated and doesn't do justice to what you actually go through. So I feel like when I talk with Americans or other people, and even the stories I say, it's like they have this different vision of what war is. And I think that it's important, just like war is so not fun. It's not fun. It's not enjoyable. There's very little benefits. And it's so important to remember, like, why do we keep fighting? Like I said, for our lives. This is the Israeli Defense Force. Like, it's literally defense, but we don't go to war, Like, it's not like, should we go to war with them or not? It's like, do we have to go to war? Okay, we have to. Like, if we don't, they're going to just, attack us later. So that's my opinion on it. Yeah.
So this is going to sound sort of counterintuitive, and I'm not going to phrase this right. So there aren't many joys in this, but there is meaning. So help me or help us as an audience and pinpoint as to what the meaning actually is for you to defend your country and defend your family, because that is what keeps you guys going. And that's, I think, what you're trying to do also through these stories of the soldiers, correct?
Correct. So I think religion's a big part for me. And one of the important, integral parts of religion for us is the idea of unity. And I could tell you also from tragedy, there was built a lot of unity. Like after October 7th, it was horrible, but it connected all of, the entire country together. Everyone was coming together, working together, all these organizations doing charity and kindness and trying to help. And I think the amount of kindness I saw throughout the war, I got this passion, like this burning passion to see our country succeed.
For me, it really is. Never again is now. But what happened in Bondi Beach in Sydney, it did not happen to a bunch of Israelis on a beach. It happened to a bunch of Jews lighting candles, And the man the terrorist who killed them beforehand, he said this is against Israel. It's an anti-Zionist act of rebellion. And that's the truth of the matter, is people will kill Jews and they'll say whatever they want about it. And this is history. This is the world turning against the Jews again. And if we don't stand now, if we concede over and over again, it'll just be the destruction. It'll be the end.
So tell me about some of the inspiring stories that you've heard from other soldiers.
I'll do you one better. I'll tell you about the inspiring stories that happened to me. I think me and Shlomo both have many. I remember early in the war, I was stationed up north on a mountain range. I don't want to say exactly where, but we were getting shelled on a pretty daily basis. We had little trench shovels about this big. And, the first day they told us, dig a foxhole in case of shellings. And we were like, okay, sure. We dug about 6 inches down for sure. We'd never done that before. And we were with CD. But, and we, the shells were falling 10, 15 feet from us. And after that, we got really serious. We dug very serious foxholes. And I remember one time we were getting shelled and they were falling right next to us, right, left, big booms, the ground was shaking. And then, we started hearing a scream from the foxhole next to us, where the doctor was. And the doctor got hit in the thigh. Thank God not by direct shell, but by shrapnel. And my friend just got up in the middle of the shelling as they're falling. And he starts running over. He's got a tourniquet in his hand. And, we went after him. Wish I was the first one, but he was definitely in front of me. We jumped into the foxhole while shells are falling. And, just you're running across ground also with them falling. And, with the tourniquet on him, he, thank God, was fully fine after you got evac'd and came back to us a couple months later. But, it's just the understanding that we're all here for each other. It's not about my life, it's about our lives. And if he needs me, I'm there. It doesn't matter what's coming at me.
We were in Tulkarm, and one of a really dangerous Arab neighborhood that consistently we went in there dozens of times, and there were less times that we came out of there without weapons from terrorists or without bombs than we went in. And there was almost no time we didn't go in that we went in and we didn't have a bomb go off next to us or something like that. They were like, this is a terrorist hotbed that there was always problems. So we always do gear checks before we go into any mission. And we have our metal plating that's inside our vest. And the way it sits in is that there's not too much room to adjust it. Like you can adjust it a very little bit, but it's inside of Velcro. It kind of just sits there and you can't really adjust it. And for some reason, my commander, he says before this mission, like, this time I want everyone to go over, make sure the ceramica, the metal plating, is sitting high enough up. And then, so one guy, we'll just call him David, he decides he wants it a little bit higher. So he likes looking around. There's no way really to make it higher because it doesn't go higher. And he found like a cushion from a bed. He cut it up, put it underneath. It went up like 2 inches higher, 3 inches higher. And then, and we went out on that mission. And that night, there was like 8 terrorists shooting at us. They came under fire. And there was like a firefight going back and forth. And we get over the radio, a call, like, retreat. We're going to hit them from the air. Like, it's not worth it. Just back up. So we all back up. And on the way back up, there was a miscommunication on the radio. And the Negavist, who's the heavy machine gunner, and his gun's like made to release dozens of bullets in seconds. He was guarding one of the street corners to make sure that we could cross behind him. And somebody sees like the barrel of a gun coming out from one of the buildings on the other side. So he wasn't sure about it. The guy sticks out and he pulls the trigger. And now this heavy machine gun, which is supposed to release dozens of bullets, releases one bullet and then it gets jammed. So he starts starts dealing with the jam. And then my commander behind us, so he realized like what happened. He's like, no, it's our unit. That bullet went across the street, went through my other commander's arm, and into this metal plate of David. And like you'll see pictures, but it actually was like 2 or 3 inches below the top of it, like literally stopped that. And again, the thing that really impressed me, besides for that, like just open miracle where you see that God's like divine intervention, really just protecting us. And lastly, right after this happened, so the entire unit, without like planning or something like that, everyone understood that the guy who shot the bullet, he could come out very traumatized. Like that was friendly fire. He hit the commander's arm. He hit the vest of his other friend, David, and everyone just came up. Everyone started taking responsibility. Like, no, it's not your fault. Like, if that was a terrorist, that would have been really good, like good shooting or whatever. And the commander, like, we should have been clear about communication, like it's totally not. Like, everyone came just for like his mental health, just so that. And it really worked because the next day, my commander, he came back with a bandage on his arm. And the guy got shot in the plate, so he was a little bit more bruised. It took him like a week. He came back. And then the Negavist, the heavy machine gunner, he stayed with us the whole day. He's still with us today. So, like, you see, like, and you hear these types of stories, like, these things really break people, they cause tremendous amount of trauma. Like, you shot one of us, but he didn't take it like that because we didn't let him. Like, we were certain that we were going to take responsibility and this was a team thing and it's not your fault at all. And it wasn't his fault, he did a good job. So I think that, that's like connects it back. The unity is really what's connecting all of us and making us like, we're a crazy army. We're really like, we're just so powerful, and it's that unity that we care for one another, and we're willing to take risks and to just take that extra step to really make sure the next one's okay.
Thank you guys so much for sharing your stories and for helping us understand you guys. We believe that Beneath the Uniform really does bring us into into the heart of the core of what you guys do, because when we watch it on the screen, it's very hard to relate, but when we actually meet the people, which is what you guys are helping us to do, it really changes everything. So thank you guys so much for your time and for sharing from the heart. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you want more Israel-related content, go to allisraelnews.com, hit the notification bell, hit subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.